Let me ask you something. Are you still letting your tests fail because of some slow, flaky API that you don't even control? We've all been there, and honestly, it's a huge waste of time. Well, in this explainer, we're going to cover a technique that'll completely wipe out that problem. Get ready for tests that are faster and more reliable than you ever thought possible.
It's the absolute worst feeling, right? You push your code, everything looks perfect, and then bam, a sea of red lights up your CI/CD pipeline. And the killer part? It's not even your fault. It's some third-party service that's down for maintenance or just having a bad day. It's not just frustrating, it makes your whole test suite look untrustworthy.
So what's the fix? Well, it's pretty simple. We stop relying on things we can't control. We're going to move from the old, flaky way, where our tests are just hoping and praying an external server is up, to the smart, reliable way. From now on, our test is the boss. It controls the network and dictates exactly what responses it gets. We're talking fast, predictable, and always, always available.
Okay, so what are these third-party dependencies I keep mentioning? You know what they are. It's all the stuff your app calls out to that your team doesn't actually own. Things like analytics scripts, social media widgets, maybe a weather API, you name it. And because we have zero control over them, they introduce a massive amount of randomness, and they are the #1 cause of flaky tests.
Here's an analogy for you. Relying on a live API in your tests, it's like trying to get to a critical meeting by taking a winding public road during rush hour. Yeah, you might get there on time, but you could also get stuck in a massive traffic jam, hit an unexpected roadblock, or have a random flat tire. You are completely at the mercy of conditions you can't predict. But what if you could build your own private, high-speed bullet train directly to that meeting? That's exactly what mocking is. There's no traffic, there are no delays, just a straight, blazing fast shot to your destination. Your data arrives instantly, exactly as you expect it, every single time. Because you own the rails. You are in total control.
So, how do we build this private bullet train? It's all about taking command of the network. Instead of just letting our app blindly make calls out to the big, scary internet, we're going to step in, intercept those calls, and hand-deliver our own guaranteed responses.
The magic trick behind all of this is called request interception. Now, it sounds fancy, but all it really means is that Playwright lets us act like a bouncer at a nightclub. Before any network request even thinks about leaving our application, we get to check its ID, see where it's trying to go, and then we decide, do we let it pass, turn it away, or, and this is the fun part, send it to a completely different party with our own custom data.
So, you might be thinking, okay, cool trick, but why is this such a big deal? Well, because it single-handedly solves the biggest headache in end-to-end testing, flakiness. This isn't just an improvement, it's a game changer. This one technique gives you 3 incredible testing superpowers. First, your tests become lightning fast. I mean, we're talking milliseconds, because we're no longer waiting for some sluggish server halfway across the globe. Second, they become rock-solid reliable. Those random failures from a third-party outage? Gone. Vanished. And third, and this is my favorite, you get total control. You can simulate anything. Want to test how your UI handles a 500 server error? Done. Need to test a bizarre edge case with weird data that's almost impossible to reproduce for real? Easy.
All right, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and look at some actual code. And seriously, don't be intimidated. This is way, way easier than you think. If you can write a basic if statement, you've got this.
The absolute hero of our story is this one simple method, page.route. This is it. This is the magic wand that lets us intercept those network requests and take control. Remember that bouncer we talked about? This is how you hire him.
It all comes down to a simple 4-step process. First, you define the URL pattern you want to catch. This is like giving your bouncer a VIP list. Second, you set up the page.route with a handler function that tells it what to do when it finds a match. Third, you fulfill that request with your own mock data using route.fulfill. And fourth, and this is crucial, then you trigger the action in the UI. The order here is everything. You have to set the trap before the mouse goes for the cheese.
Okay, let's break this down real quick. See that first line? We're telling page.route to watch for any request going to our API endpoint. That little star at the end is a wildcard, so it'll match anything that starts with that URL. Then we give it a handler function, and inside that function, we call route.fulfill and just hand it our own custom JSON. We're basically telling Playwright, hey, when you see this request, don't even bother going to the real network. Just pretend you did and give the app this fake data instead. It's that simple.
Now, as powerful as this is, there are a few common landmines that you need to sidestep.
These are the classic rookie mistakes that almost everyone makes at first. But don't you worry, I want to walk you right past them so you can look like a seasoned pro from day one.
Okay, mistake number 1, not mocking at all. Just letting your tests hit live APIs and crossing your fingers. Please don't be that person. Another big one is getting the URL pattern wrong. It's like telling the bouncer to look for John Smith when the guy's name is John Smythe. Never gonna work. But my personal favorite, the one I see all the time, is setting up the route after the page has already made the network call. That's like setting the mousetrap after the mouse has already run off with the cheese.
Look, I am not exaggerating when I tell you this. If you master this one skill, you will solve probably 80% of the problems that cause flaky end-to-end tests. This is the secret sauce. It's the difference between a test suite you're constantly fighting and one that you can actually trust.
So what we've just learned isn't just some other testing technique to add to your toolbox. Now, it's a fundamental shift in how you think about testing. It's the difference between playing checkers and playing three-dimensional chess. This is your new secret weapon for building absolutely bulletproof automation.
You want to know what the top 1% of automation engineers do? They don't even think about it. They mock all external services by default. It's not a question of if they should mock something, it's just standard practice. They use route.fulfill to create the exact conditions needed for every single test. And most importantly, they focus their tests on what actually matters, how the UI reacts to the data it's given. They're not retesting the back end, they're testing the user experience.
Okay, if you forget everything else we just talked about, please just burn these next 3 things into your brain.
Takeaway number 1, page.route is your new best friend. It is the key that unlocks everything. Use it to seize control of the network and become the master of your testing domain.
Takeaway number 2, route.fulfill is your magic wand. It lets you conjure up any data, any response, any scenario you need, exactly when you need it. It's the ultimate testing cheat code.
And finally, takeaway number 3. Your goal is to build a test suite that is so fast, so reliable, and so isolated from the outside world that your team will honestly think you're some kind of wizard. So, I have a question for you. What are you waiting for? I know you have that one test in your suite that always fails for no reason. Go find it right now and put it out of its misery with what you just learned. Your future self is going to thank you for it.